Chapter 10. An Important Clue. Winston craned his neck to see what Edna was pointing at. Attached to the side of one of the large buildings overlooking the busy traffic roundabout were lots of enormous signs advertising various things. Theatres, cinemas, chocolate bars, and even expensive snazzy socks. Can you see the signs? Some of the signs were completely lit up. Others had light bulbs all around them flashing on and off at different intervals. Some had words picked out in the fancy light-up writing which fizzed and flickered brightly against the dark night sky. In the middle of all this was what Edna had wanted to show Winston. On a huge advertising board, which must have been at least 20 feet high, was the smiling face of Father Christmas. It was definitely him. He had the white fluffy beard, happy twinkling eyes, and the red velvet suit that made him look very warm and cosy. Winston's heart lifted, and then it plummeted again. This wasn't the real Father Christmas. It was just a nice picture of him in an advert. Winston said this sadly to Edna. Edna chuckled. "You are a silly mouse," she said kindly. "Of course it's just a picture. But I think it might also be a clue as to where you can actually find him here in the city. Have a read of the sign." Winston looked up again and squinted his eyes against the snow that was still falling all around him. The sign said, "Fortesque Department Store. Visit Father Christmas in store today." Winston's cheeks went pink with excitement. Could it be true? Could Father Christmas really be here in the city? He had to find out. He didn't really know what a department store was, but it sounded exciting. Perhaps it was where Father Christmas went to get the supplies he'd need for a long journey round the world. He'd surely need at least some supplies, like a couple of packets of biscuits to keep him going for the night. "Do you know where Fortesque Department Store is, Edna?" Winston asked, quivering with excitement. Edna walked round in a little circle while she thought. "I don't think it's very far from here. You'll just need to cross this road very carefully and then take that big road there and then keep going straight down until you get to the shop. If I remember rightly, it's quite a big one with its name in large letters above the door." "Will you both come with me?" asked Winston. He got quite used to having a nice friend or two with him now. It made him stop thinking about how cold his paws were and how grumbly his stomach was. "Oh, I wish I could, my dear," said Edna. "I love an adventure, but I've got to get poor George back to our nest. Look at him." Winston looked round and laughed. George was flat on his back with his two thick legs poking up in the air, and he was snoring so loudly it sounded like an engine. "This is what a belly full of mince pies does to you," Edna chuckled as she pecked gently at George's tail to wake him up. "Now you just continue on your adventure," she said, turning to Winston. "You seem a very brave sort of mouse, and I know you can get that letter to Father Christmas before midnight. Be very careful, and good luck." Winston said thank you and let Edna fuss about, wrapping his little scarf around his neck with her beak. And then, with a little wave over his shoulder to the two birds, he picked up the envelope and set off towards Fortesque's department store to meet Father Christmas himself.